I'm rolling the camera, so you say who you are. So who am I talking to here?
Hi, I'm Chris Attwood, co-author of the Passion Test, The Effortless Path to Discovering Your Life Purpose. And Kirsten is asking me, why do I say that the future of our world will be based upon people who understand feminine values and lead from the feminine? And it doesn't matter whether they're men or women from my perspective. We all have masculine and feminine within us. Most men are predominantly masculine, most women are predominantly feminine. That means that most men have a hard time connecting with their own feminine values. And yet, to lead effectively, even men have to connect with those feminine values. And this isn't any big surprise. We actually see it in the business community. We see it in every aspect of society today because we're becoming more and more a collaborative society. The internet is drawing us together, and the quality of drawing together is in and of itself a feminine value. And that is what's required of leaders of this next coming era. The industrial age was driven by rationality, logic, and the ability to separate. Separation, intellectual separation allows clarity, but it also created disparities. And the new age, this new era, this new time that we're entering into now, requires the ability to connect, the ability to collaborate, the ability to bring teams together, to bring people together, to create cultures. All of those things are feminine aspects. The qualities of compassion, of love, of caring, those are things that are necessary today. Leaders, as we step into this time, have to have the ability to nurture their staff as well as direct them. They still need that quality. That doesn't mean that there's no need for masculine values. There's still a need for people to have direction, to have guidance. However, more and more, what we see is that the staff, the team itself, is the one who creates the direction based upon the vision that is created by the leader, that is articulated by the leader. And that quality of vision, again, requires tapping into the feminine. So whether male or female doesn't matter. Both kinds of leaders, both genders of leaders, will be successful when they master the ability to connect with and express their own feminine essence, and to do that in a way that brings people together, unifies their teams, and as a result uses that collective power to create outcomes that would be impossible by individuals working on their own.
And what is your best tip for other men who would like to prepare for this new era?
Well, that's easy. You need to learn from Kirsten Stendevad. I mean, what else is there? For men to be able to understand how to lead based upon feminine values, they have to understand, number one, what's the difference between masculine and feminine, and then they also have to have some practice, get comfortable with being a man and yet being compassionate, being a man and yet paying attention to process, even more than outcomes and goals. Being a man and being able to listen as well as tell. The thing is that it's a challenge for us as men, because unless you are really grounded in yourself, what tends to happen is you try to connect with the feminine, and then you become wimpy. And wimpy is not attractive. It's not a leadership quality. So the challenge for a man, even more than a woman, I believe, the challenge for a man is to be able to stay strong and connected to his own masculine essence, even as he is basing his leadership on the feminine qualities that are necessary in today's environment. So I think the tip or the best advice that I can give is to get good guidance, just as Kirsten can provide, and then practice. Be in environments where you have the opportunity to practice. It's just like lifting weights, to be honest with you. It's a matter of just going through and exercising these muscles so that you can stay strong in the masculine values, but begin to develop your comfort and your ability to use the feminine in a way that doesn't sacrifice your masculinity.
Do you have any advice for women?
For women. Yeah, because our corporate and business environment has been so male-dominated, women have frequently had to put their feminine aspects, their feminine essence behind. You know, they've had to hide that and attempt to be masculine in this male world, which of course doesn't feel comfortable or natural. And in a sense, like men, what the new female leader needs to practice and train in is the ability to have balance, to be able to be goal-directed, to be able to set targets, to be able to be focused, but at the same time to have those beautiful feminine qualities that of being able to nurture her team, to be able to connect her team, to be able to be unchallenged by people being leaders themselves, of stepping up and giving input and giving advice. So I think it really comes down, to be honest with you, Kirsten, it comes down to a similar requirement, but from a different perspective. And that requirement is, for women, is the ability to balance masculine and feminine values in a business context. For men, I think the challenge is to remain masculine while connecting with the feminine. And they're two different things. So I think they require kind of two different approaches, and yet it really does come down to practice. Like everything in life, the more that we can become comfortable with both masculine and feminine, and when it's appropriate to be connected and to be expressing one or the other, then that's when we'll be effective leaders.
One last question. What do you do to take care of your own leadership?
What do I do to take care of my own leadership? So that's a great question. So for me, leadership arises. I am a leader to the extent that I'm connected to myself, to my own deepest nature. That means when I'm connected to the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I love and care about most, when I'm able to make decisions based upon those things, then what I feel is a sense of meaning and purposefulness. And when that's true, then I don't have to try to be a leader. I naturally am in that leadership context. And for me, for better or for worse, this aspect of masculine, feminine has come to be almost second nature. That what I see when I'm connected to myself, what I mean by connected to myself is to that deep level of calm and peace that all of us have inside. And it's one of the reasons why, for me, my 40-some years of meditation practice has been so important, because that's really the way I ground my own leadership, is that connects me to the wholeness of myself. And then when I come out and I act, then it's very easy to see, oh, now it's time to be focused and directed, to be masculine. Now it's time to listen, to be open, to be receptive, which is feminine, of course. And it require a lot of trying when you're connected to that level of yourself, because you naturally flow with the need of each moment. And I think this is really the goal for all leaders in this time, is to be able to spontaneously and effortlessly to be able to move and flow between masculine and feminine, and to be able to express those values that are appropriate in any management or business setting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.